Welcome to Zimwaves TV, where we bring you the latest headlines from Zimbabwe, Africa, and beyond. In today's news, we cover stories about Zimbabwean passport fee protests, South Africa's migrant debate, and much more. Stay tuned as we delve into these stories. Julius Malema, leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, has called on Zimbabwean youths to challenge the recent hike in passport fees. Speaking during an event in South Africa, Malema sharply criticized the Zimbabwean government's decision to increase passport fees to levels that are unattainable for many of its citizens. He emphasized the unfairness of such a financial burden, particularly on young people who already face significant economic challenges. Malema urged the youths to organize and demand better governance that prioritizes affordable access to essential services, including the ability to travel. This call comes amid widespread discontent among Zimbabweans who feel that the high costs are yet another barrier imposed by a government perceived as indifferent to the struggles of its people. The fee increase has sparked protests and heightened tensions between the citizens and the government, adding to the economic pressures faced by many Zimbabweans seeking opportunities abroad. In an economic update, the Zimbabwean government has unveiled a comprehensive de-dollarization roadmap aimed at gradually reducing the country's reliance on the US dollar and promoting the use of the Zimbabwean dollar. This strategic plan is part of broader efforts to stabilize the economy, which has been heavily dollarized since the hyperinflation crisis over a decade ago. The finance minister stated that restoring confidence in the national currency is crucial for Zimbabwe's economic sovereignty and long-term growth. The roadmap includes measures to strengthen monetary policy, encourage local production, and increase foreign investment. However, many economists and business leaders remain skeptical about the feasibility of de-dollarization, given the persistent economic instability and lack of trust in the local currency. The success of this initiative will largely depend on the government's ability to implement structural reforms and foster an environment conducive to economic development and currency stability. Meanwhile, the Zimbabwean government is under scrutiny for its efforts to improve its international image while reportedly unleashing violence on civilians at home. Reports have emerged of increased human rights abuses, including arbitrary arrests and violent crackdowns on dissent, which stand in stark contrast to the government's attempts to portray a positive image abroad. This dual narrative has sparked outrage among human rights organizations and the international community, who accuse the Zimbabwean authorities of using PR tactics to mask the reality of repression and political persecution. The government's struggle to balance optics and reality has further fueled tensions within the country, with activists calling for accountability and reform. Despite efforts to rebrand itself on the global stage, the administration's actions have been met with skepticism, raising questions about the sincerity of its commitment to human rights and democratic principles. In political news, the Zimbabwe Election Support Network (ZSN) has expressed significant concerns over the process of announcing election dates, emphasizing that the incumbent president should not have the sole authority to determine the timing of elections. This issue has brought to light long-standing challenges regarding electoral transparency and fairness in Zimbabwe. ZSN argues that a more inclusive and democratic approach is needed to ensure that election dates are set in a manner that fosters confidence and participation among all stakeholders. The organization is advocating for legislative reforms that would establish an independent body responsible for overseeing the election calendar, thereby reducing the risk of manipulation for political gain. These calls come at a critical time as Zimbabwe prepares for upcoming elections, with many citizens hoping for a fair and transparent process that reflects their democratic aspirations. As the Southern African Development Community (SADC) summit approaches, there is growing pressure on regional leaders to address the serious allegations of torture and human rights abuses in Zimbabwe. Various human rights organizations are urging SADC to take a firm stance and prioritize these issues during the summit discussions. The allegations include reports of state-sponsored violence against activists, journalists, and opposition members, which have drawn condemnation from the international community. Activists argue that SADC's engagement is crucial to pressuring the Zimbabwean government to cease these practices and uphold its human rights obligations. The summit provides a vital platform for member states to engage in dialogue and explore potential solutions to the ongoing crisis in Zimbabwe, emphasizing the need for accountability and justice for victims of abuse. In South Africa, a recent beauty pageant has sparked intense debate over the country's treatment of migrants, bringing to the forefront ongoing tensions and divisions within the nation regarding immigration policies and attitudes toward foreign nationals. The controversy arose when a contestant, herself a migrant, faced backlash and xenophobic remarks during the competition. This incident has highlighted the deep-rooted challenges faced by migrants in South Africa, where xenophobia remains a persistent issue. The debate has ignited conversations about the need for more inclusive policies and greater societal acceptance of migrants, who often contribute significantly to the economy and cultural diversity. As discussions continue, many are calling for government action to address xenophobia and promote a more harmonious coexistence between South African citizens and migrants. Turning to Zimbabwe's sports scene, the national rugby team is undergoing a significant revival as it focuses on developing young talent and attracting top players to enhance its performance on the international stage. This initiative is part of a broader effort to reposition Zimbabwe as a formidable force in the rugby world, following years of challenges that have hindered the team's progress. The Zimbabwe Rugby Union has launched various programs aimed at nurturing grassroots talent and providing opportunities for young athletes to excel. Additionally, efforts are being made to bring back experienced players who can contribute to the team's success and inspire the next generation. With these strategic moves, Zimbabwe is aiming to regain its competitive edge and achieve notable success in upcoming international competitions. In international news, there is a growing call for new legislation to protect online shoppers in light of increasing concerns about fraudulent transactions, data privacy, and consumer rights. With the rapid growth of e-commerce, many consumers have fallen victim to scams and unscrupulous practices, prompting demands for stronger regulatory frameworks. Proposed laws aim to ensure a safer online shopping environment by addressing these issues and establishing clear guidelines for businesses operating in the digital marketplace. Consumer advocacy groups are pushing for swift action to implement these protections, emphasizing the importance of building trust and confidence among online shoppers. As the digital economy continues to expand, safeguarding consumers' interests is becoming a top priority for governments and policymakers worldwide. In a stunning performance in Paris, American sprinter Noah Lyles has clinched the men's 100-meter gold medal at the Paris track and field event. His victory, achieved with an impressive time, cements his status as the fastest man in the world and showcases his remarkable speed and athletic prowess. Lyles' triumph is a testament to his dedication and hard work, as he continues to dominate the sprinting world and set new standards for excellence. His performance has captivated audiences and inspired aspiring athletes globally, reinforcing his reputation as one of the most talented sprinters of his generation. Thank you for joining us on Zimwaves TV. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates and in-depth coverage of the latest news. Stay informed and engaged with us as we continue to bring you the stories that matter.
The sun always shines. We face many trials, we've walked many lines, but our strength is in numbers, united.